recording, and we're going to turn it over. I'm going to let you say your name so I don't mangle it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Yeah. Well, I don't know if you have anything new in the format of the idea of what you do. If you get it more in a sort of a chat for questions, you told me. So I'm just gonna do a very brief recall of what this program is about. So the Maya nut seed, or in this place of where I am right now, is called apoma. It's used for food. It's very nutritious. It's a tree, and it helps a lot to overcome the climate change because it fixes a lot of CO2. It's very resilient for changes in the weather and is drought resistant. And so it feeds people. And we try to go to the communities to remind them of that a wonderful heritage they had in the past by using it, and remember how it was used in the different parts and exchange recipes in the different areas, because it's so versatile that in some places it's used in some ways and in others other ways. So it's basically to remind them, not to teach them, but to exchange knowledge, recipes, and experiences with the seed, and at the same time open new opportunities for marketing the value added products of the seed, and find in the same way not only a food but a source of income. So it creates a virtuous circle in which there's nutrition, there's forest, there's income, there's women empowerment, and nature, of course, nature services. So having said all that, it's been 20 years of doing this work, and I follow very much the lead of Erika Bowman, who is in Colorado, and she started this program. And she has done it in so many countries of Central and South America. So I just work in Mexico, in something like 12 out of 18 different states that the seed is naturally distributed. But a few months ago, this is the relevant part of this. So all that was the lovely news and the nice news, but there's always another side to these things. And we had an event, an online event, where Erika and I were invited, and we spoke, and it was weird to me to find out that she's a bit like heartbroken. It sounded to me, because I don't know if she feels that the program hasn't achieved as much as she aspires. She is a very big dreamer, and you know, she's very tough in pursuing whatever she does. So I think she expects as well a lot of the hard work she does. Also, being in the United States and not in situ a lot of the time makes you wonder what's happening, you know, but it also made me think what is really happening in Mexico. And today I'm in Sinaloa, a state that is very challenging because of the crime with narco traffic. I mean, this morning arriving, I was really surprised of the different news they tell me about security. But anyway, we tried, or we decided to trust, and we are here in the community, 1 hour away from Sinaloa, and we had a workshop, and I wanted to see, after a long time of having had a workshop myself in communities, in new places, a new state, in fact, what was the reaction of women. And I'm very pleased that it was very positive. The women are interested. There are every time fewer and fewer women that know about it, and this is a reason probably there's this relative failure of the recovering the knowledge, because the grandmas that had this knowledge are not here anymore, you know. So the big challenge that we are facing now is really how to encourage the young girls. I think is a super big challenge. And I don't know if um, the media, the new technologies that attract youngsters nowadays would be an ally to make this happen, to make more videos or I don't know. In a way, I find it is a bit of a anti solution because this is new technologies, new things. We would like to go more for to basics, to roots, and not just rely on things that are seen on the screens very briefly. And even nowadays, I find that people get fed up if they don't see in the screen very quickly what they want to learn. So or what they there's no patience to get messages. They just want the quick thing. So I'm in that state at the moment, thinking on what to do to help young girls. And I have to say as well, in that respect, that I'm a bit hopeful that now that we have this woman president, to my view, and the statistics says as well for a lot of Mexicans, we are happy with her, and she's doing a lot of things towards agriculture, sustainability, and sovereignty, food sovereignty, and food not only sovereignty, but um, the other word that we can have food all the time. Not only is our resources, but a continued supply of food that we harvest. So there is a little chance, an avenue there that they will turn around and see the Maya nut seed as a good alternative. We have been close to government agencies and we have contacts there with the government, and these are baby steps only because it is still new, but we hope that something will come out of it. And one more news before maybe I could hand it to some questions is that having said this as well, I have a colleague that I found after many, many years of searching an ethical partnership with a woman that is doing a better deal with salaries and payments towards the seeds she buys, and she is doing very well in Amazon, selling the product and in small venues. So the demand is growing, and that is good. Is no perfect partnership. I still could be better, but at least she's willing and she is on board with us. So that's another bit of good news. So that's like a kind of a round a little brief summary of what things have been going on here. So I don't know if you want to proceed to questions or shall I say more news or I don't know. What do you think?
Well, let me get a sense of what people. I know Ren just came in late. So, Ren, I don't know that you were here when we had our amazing guest before. So, I want to just very briefly tell you a little bit about the amazing work that's being done. This is in Mexico. And this is, to me, I think this is like the cool thing because this is a 20-year project and it is to reintroduce an indigenous tree called the Maya nut, which was very central to uh, the culture. It was very key in feeding people and so forth. And also at the same time, so it's reintroducing something that's indigenous. It is helping people who are in poverty have more self-agency and have more control of their lives. And I think that you were exceedingly smart not to talk about climate change to them, but for them, it's much more about, hey, I need to make food and I need to make money. And, the climate change just kind of happens with that. So that's kind of this, that is the project in a nutshell, pun intended. So, would you just let's just get a sense for people. If you'd like to hear more news, just kind of like raise your hand, either virtually or that, or if you'd like to do more questions. If you'd like to do more questions, I'll just leave your hand raised. We'll just do a count of five. One, two, three, four, five. Yeah, I'd love to ask questions. So there we go. Yeah, I know I'd love to hear, and it's been going on for 20 years. And I think it'd be very interesting to hear your experience of the changes you've seen in these communities now that they've done this from when you started.
Yeah. Well, I'm very pleased that to be able as well to not raise my expectations to huge things, because all these are big changes that have to happen very slowly. And as long as there is a seed planted in each of the states with one family, one group, I have hope. So was it last year or 2 years ago that we were able to have a meeting of the women that we've been working together, several of them for probably 18 years. I don't know if I had any that had been 20 years that I know for 20 years, but definitely 18 years. So yeah, one of them was very lovely. She was a very young woman that started, and now, well, it's almost 15 years afterwards. So yeah, we have groups, although not massive numbers of them. We have groups that have achieved big things. For instance, at least two groups in different states, one in Yucatan and another one in Jalisco, have cooperatives that work with 15 women, and they don't only do Maya nuts, but they do other products of their area. And they have been able to organize a fair of coffee and Maya nut, and it's their probably eighth edition, so it's getting, every year is getting bigger and bigger. So for me, that's one of the best examples of women that have managed to do this these events, and also have grown so much. So they also organized uh, tours in their areas to take people to see the Maya nut trees, the coffee trees, the rivers, and they make food for them in their little cafeteria. So that has become a big success. That's one of the changes I have done, and we made a video when we were 15 years of time working together. So we managed to take women from at least 6 or 7 states to that area. So it was a great achievement to have women from other places in there. And same with the women in Yucatan. So I think that's one of the things that pleases me the most, to see that there are groups doing that. Yeah.
I think that is just marvelous. If anybody else would like to ask a question, feel free. Like I said, you can either use your regular hand, your, virtual hand. I can deal with either one, you know, you know, if not, I always have things to ask because I'm always curious. That's just me. I'm just always curious. It's like, what now? You said that you're having problems like with what would you say is the normal age of the people that are you're able, what age group do you think you are connecting with, and what age group would you like to that you're having, challenges with?
Yeah. Well, for instance, the attendance of the women, the age attendance of women to workshops, it's in their, I would say, in their 40s, and some older as well. Yeah, 40s to 60s, and they're very young mothers, in general here. So they're mostly mothers of young ones and youngsters. And I would like to have more um, young girls from the age of 14, 15 to their 20s, because they don't seem very interested. It's not very easy, and one of the reasons is that the forest is not close to them anymore, and
Mm.
the habit of visiting the forest is not there as well. So in many of the places, it's only men that go, and they are frightened. And this is something a change of culture, very important, because in many places it was the whole family that used to go and harvest it, but now they are afraid of it, or they have to walk long distances to get to the nearest trees. So
Okay.
one of the things I would like very much to do is to convince them that I know it's not a lot, but they could have their tree next to their home, planted next, because one tree can produce 150 kilos of seeds in one season. And if they just put it where the water is running from their shower or whatever thing, they will be having a tree that grows very quickly. And normally they are as well, they're finishing the trees because of the cows. It's such a good food that the cows eat it, and they produce better and more milk. But it means that they kill the saplings and the seedlings around. So I said, we are facing a forest that has only big adult trees, but not the little ones that are going to replace them. So I said we have to engage men in order to have agroforestry systems in which they incorporate, yes, the seed, but they at the same time let other trees grow, and the cows can eat the seed, but not the seedlings. And we have to encourage more the children. This visit was in a way very pleasant, in that the schools have seedlings there, so they are planting them there. And the other is the mothers that can have the income, which are always as well very interested on being able to do value added products such as coffee substitute or bake or that kind of thing, those kind of foods. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was very curious if you had any opportunities to go to like schools, because I know like I don't know Mexico, and I don't know, certainly don't know their education system. I mean, I've been to Mexico, but that was a long time ago. And I know here in the United States that, planting trees as part of being in school is not that unheard of. There's like Arbor Day here. I don't know if there's anything even close to that in your culture, but I was just
Mm-hmm.
curious if the schools are open and allowing you to come in and, interact with the kids, because that might be a way to, for one thing, they're kind of forced to do it.
Yeah,
You got a
yeah,
captive audience.
yeah, yeah, exactly. We do
And then
have
they
to
find out
do
it's
it.
cool and fun.
Mhm. Yes, yes, definitely. I mean, we try to encourage them by giving them the breakfast program with cookies of Maya nut and the drink of Maya nut. So that was a good experience we had, and they wanted to carry on with the breakfast program, even there was no more budget to do it. So that was great. But yeah, to the reforestation projects, for instance, the nurseries and all that, are good, but as long as they have good conditions to do this. And in many cases, the conditions are not there, because we're talking about communities that are very, how will I say, well, remote, and sometimes if they need the very basic things to do it. I mean, I know they could try and take basic things to do nurseries, but even to have the bags and all that, it presents challenges to
Yeah,
them.
it's
And
not like, yeah, even my guess is even getting to some of these places could be challenging. I
yes,
don't know if it's
yes.
still like that. I mean, I know that I'm old enough to remember that, there were temples that now people go, you know, and tourists go to, that when I was young, they were just discovering. So, but I'm sure there's still parts of, I'm sure there's still parts that are not exactly on the route that's make, to easily get to.
Yes, yes, definitely. Yes, a lot of the places we go to is, I mean, right now because of the insecurity, the community we went to, they were telling us that they don't have an easy access to vegetables, and they don't plant their vegetables because, well, this is a very, very dry area of Mexico. So because of the insecurity, they cannot have gasoline access very easy, and no one goes in to sell things, to sell
Yeah.
vegetables and things. So and you have the presence of the army everywhere, and and well, yeah, it's very complex, the situation here with all the families in one way or another. They plant, they work with either the drugs or planting marijuana, and everybody is in one way or another
Sure, because
involved.
sure, because that's where the
Yeah,
money is. Sure, of course. Now,
exactly.
I'm curious with the yeah, again, I'm not that familiar with, I mean, I know about the Maya tree from, my anthropology days way back when, but I don't know things like what kind of climates does it need? Like, what is the diversity of climates? So like where you are now, is that more challenging, or is it one of those trees that just, because it's indigenous to the area, pretty much thrives if you just give it a little bit of water?
Yeah, no, here was very sad to see that the deforestation is rampant, is really, really strong, and without water as well. As I say, it's very resilient, but there are limits to it. It's disappearing. So other parts where we have rainforest, and this is dry forest, but in dry forest, in rainforest, sorry, I think it's more easy, it's less challenging areas to go and visit. So it's a huge distribution. It's from here in the north, Sinaloa. It is below Sonora State, and all the way down to Guatemala. I mean, to the border with Guatemala, Chiapas, and all that. So in both coasts. So it really tolerates a big wide of conditions. Drought and excess of water and all that. So yeah.
I again want to invite people so that, feel free that if you want to ask a question, because I always want to make sure that everybody, is I'm just in awe, no questions. Bart says he's just in awe. I'm in awe of you also. I've been in awe of you every time you come in. It's like I love to use you as an example of somebody that just hits to me is doing things very smart. Plus, I think you're very wise that you don't set
Thank
expectations that just can't be met. Because
you.
these are things that are very slow. You
Yeah,
know, they're not
yeah,
going to be, overnight. So and one family's being better is one family being better. I think it's
yeah,
marvelous. But
yeah, yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
what do you know what I'm sure you know a little bit about the history of the Maya nut. So for the other people who are not anthropology nerds, how long ago how long ago do you happen to know how long ago we know that this was used by the various cultures going, I believe, back to the Olmec, if I'm correct.
Yes, I
I believe,
mean,
if I remember correctly, it goes all the way back.
yes, all the way back. Ancient Mayans really is the one, but I think we were finding out, Erika and I, that were indications, and then even with the older cultures like the Olmecs, because definitely the tree was there, and it's so prevalent that a lot of the biodiversity feeds on them as well, that it surely was something to pay attention to. Say, well, all the birds, all the small mammals eat it up, whether it's the seed, the leaf, the seedling, they all eat it. So I'm sure it was even from the Olmec times. I have a colleague at the moment, an archaeology student, that she wants to find out the right archaeological evidence that Brosimo Mayanot was eaten, So we know it, but she really wants to
But
go
finding it is
right to
but
that.
finding it when you're talking about things that deteriorate, finding that in archaeology is challenging. Let's just put it that way. I won't drag
Yes.
this too much into archaeology, but I just think that the fact that this is such a something that was so important to a whole culture, and that it was lost because of modernization, and that any I think bringing back that kind of stuff is just on so many levels. It's cultural pride. It is
Yes.
self-sufficiency. So I think that's just marvelous, you
Yes.
know. So,
Yes. Yes.
so where are you off to next? Where's your next adventure?
Well, we have the opportunity to have good grants here. I mean, it's not that they are big, but they are relatively uh, straightforward to write. And I came here because of one of those grants and my colleague that applied for it. So if I'm lucky, I would like to apply for one of these grants and again gather the women together in the Yucatan state, because I think that's what they benefit the most, because it gives them a complete boost of dreams and energy whenever they get together. And I think there's more possibility there to do some kind of well, reaction for probably for the young audience that I want to attract. So I'm thinking I would try to write a grant to get all the women down to Yucatan in the following months, if possible, this year. Yes,
Well,
I hope.
I hope to hear really great things, or at least small little, like I said, little tiny seedlings that are doing better. Since we have about like 2 more minutes, I thought I would just go ahead and let people know what the next meeting is, so that people can let other people in their communities know. This is going to be amazing. I know Reverend Laura from the Parliament of World Religions. She actually started the last Parliament of World Religions. She is an indigenous Mexican,
Mm.
and she is a powerhouse. I am so honored that she is going to come, and a lot of what she's trying to do is, help people understand about the richness of these cultures. And of course, as not to be surprising, these ancient cultures understood that you had to live with, you had to take care of your environment or you weren't going to survive, so there are a lot of things from these cultures that I think that we can respectfully, honor. So I'm super, super, super happy to have Laura come, and she actually gave this is cool. This the Parliament of World Religions, for those who don't know, is a huge thing where religions from all over the world and non-religious people come together to work on common things. And she started it. She actually said the first prayer, and it was the first time we've had that situation at the parliament. So it was kind of a big deal. And she's
Mm.
going to be coming next time to share with us, and this one's going to be about Mesoamerican mother goddesses. So
Wow.
yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. She's really, I really like her.
Ah.
She's really cool. So anyway, we got about 1 minute, and I just want to thank. I will thank everybody for spending time, and like I said, the easiest thing you can do for the group is just let people know that these exist. We've got YouTube videos if they can't make it on time. And we're still looking for somebody to put out notices of the next meeting. It's a really small amount of time. So just something in the back of your mind. I know, if you are looking at a way to step up a little bit more with your involvement in this group, but showing up is valuable. And with that, I want to thank everybody, and I hope that I'm going to stop staring at the screen. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.